Konnichiwa, my name is Logan Charles Luna, and this video is going to be about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 8. And yeah, just kind of recapping the end of it because it has now officially come to the end. So if you don't want any spoilers on Part 8 JoJolion, click off now. And it's also been announced that there will be a Part 4 after a break from Iraqi, which, take your time. I think the longest break Iraqi's ever had between parts was between Part 6 and Part 7, Steel Ball Run. I mean, he basically restructured and recreated the entire JoJo's timeline and universe, so that took a while. It was only I think a year and a half. But now we come to discuss the end of JoJolion. And where it kind of falls and one of my favorite parts. I've had some time to really think about the ending, think about JoJolion as a whole and what the story was actually about. Because JoJolion wasn't a story about the world, much kind of like Steel Ball Run was kind of explaining the world, and you got to discover more about Johnny as the story went on. This was a story about family, and this was a story about Josuke and his identity, and how he is Josuke Higashikata, and he is not either Yoshikage Kira or Josafume Kujo. He is Josuke. So with this artwork, I just kind of did it start to finish. I really got into the groove of it, so I couldn't just do a layout and then work on it as I made the video. I just went all the way through, and yeah, I really did enjoy overall JoJolion, and it was quite an experience just having JoJolion last this long, because it did last 10 years, and it was the longest part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So, quick little history with me and JoJo's. When I was a kid, I only had the video game for the PlayStation. So I thought Part 3 with Jotaro and the Stardust Crusaders was the only part of JoJo's. Until I found out that Stone Ocean was a thing in the year 2000. So Stone Ocean came out in January of 2000, but I didn't catch up to it until May of 2000, because I'd have to go down to the library and rent out Shonen Jump. The library, not the one in my school, but there was a public library that for a while they kept up to date with Shonen Jump, and then they just kind of stopped. And they stopped keeping them after Naruto and Bleach ended, because people just lost interest, I guess, in renting them out of the library, and I guess some people just started buying the volumes. So I'd go to the library, I'd rent out Shonen Jump, and I'd read JoJo's. And I started with Stone Ocean, and at that point in time, I thought Stone Ocean was a sequel to JoJo's. But, they're all one story, and different parts with different protagonists, kind of sort of like these grand sagas or arcs, and they have their own sagas and arcs within them. And after that, I jumped onto Part 7, and then, as we all know, Part 8. And I kept up with JoJo's from Part 6 to now, and those are the ongoing ones that I've kept up with. Of course, I couldn't keep up with Part 4 because I was too young to read, and Part 4 and 5 were unavailable to me, and I didn't know that there were a Part 4 and 5. So now catching up with everything, and in the grand scheme of all the JoJo's, I definitely have to say Yappy is a solid 4th place. My top 3 are still my top 3. And yeah, Gappy is there in fourth place. Um, I will say though, he is higher than original Josuke than me because Gappy just kind of, I connected with him a little more than original universe Josuke. So now the rest of this video is going to be talking about the possibilities of part 9. And one of those possibilities is that we might actually get 2 JoJo protagonists. Because when we saw the family tree at the end of part 8, we saw that Joseph Joestar had siblings. So while Gappy might not like have kids and carry on the JoJo lineage, the Joestars are still going to be a part of the story, probably through the relatives of JoJo having kids, and just that involving them into whatever adventure they're going on with the Rokakaka. Because there is more Rokakaka, there is still a mystery with the Walleyes, and we might actually get like a part with 2 JoJos. And so I thought, Jolene and Giorno, because Araki's kind of remade all of the original universe. So while necessarily we might not get like an exact Jolene and Giorno character in the next part, we might at least get something similar to them. The way Josuke was similar to Josuke from the original universe. So here I made a fan art of Giorno Giovanna with his stand, which, kind of keeping the name scheme going from part 8. His stand would be called Lizard King, and Jolene's stand would be Queen of the Stone Age. So if there isn't like the twin or duo JoJo character in the next part, and it just is like another version of Jolene, probably have a name change to like another song with Joe, most likely Joanne from Lady Gaga, because it's there, Joanne. So here's my version of Joanne Jolene with another version of Queen of the Stone Age. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think about like my theory about like the designs that I made for these characters. Are you looking forward to part 9? Do you hope that it's gonna either be an alternate universe Giorno or an alternate universe Jolene, or do you hope that the twin theory that has been around for a while, do you think that's gonna actually come through? But soon enough we'll find out, and we'll start a new adventure in JoJo lands. If you want to follow my social media for more of my fan art, Twitter and Instagram at LCLX25. Join the Patreon to get behind the scenes and exclusive content with my manga that I'm working on right now. And yeah, that's the end of the video. Sayonara.